Welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I thought I would just show you how I keep track of money that are in my sinking funds. I only cash stuff about 7 envelopes that I've gone through on a previous video, but I do have sinking funds for all of my long-term bills and expenses. I do not have envelopes for those because all that money is actually sitting in a bank account. So I just thought I'd quickly explain how I keep track of it and how it works. So I get paid fortnightly or bi-weekly, and the money goes into what I call my everyday bill account. Now the money that stays in there is the money for all of my monthly bills and expenses. So things such as my monthly subscriptions, like my streaming services, stuff like my monthly health insurance, any monthly bill or expense, the money stays into that everyday bill account. Then I have what I call my long-term bill account. Now I have worked out, working on averages from previous bills, how much money I need to set aside every pay to cover all of my bills and expenses. So working off that, I have then set up automatic transfers to happen the day after my payday. So the bank will automatically take the amount of money that I've calculated out of my everyday bill account and it transfers it into my long-term bill account. Now, all my long-term bills and expenses, they are anything that is not due monthly or due longer than monthly. So my quarterly bills, my annual bills, and my longer-term expenses. So that's things such as rates, electricity, my water bill, things like my RACQ membership, my house and contents insurance, I pay that yearly. I pay my car insurance yearly. Things such as car services I have in there as well. Things such as I've got a new one for house maintenance. I'm going to put some money away for house maintenance. Things such even as like car tyres. I'm kind of guesstimating I'll need to buy new tyres every, say, 3 years, just going off my previous history. I've even got a sinking fund for a new car battery. I had to replace my car battery last year and that was several $100s. So I decided to also have a sinking fund for that. So all of that kind of stuff, that goes into my long-term bill account. Now that account is what we call here in Australia is an online savings account. And that means that I cannot access it via a ATM card. I can only access it via internet banking, which is what I like. So it's a bit harder to get to the funds than just going to the ATM and taking money out. It also pays a bit higher of an interest rate than normal bank accounts here in Australia. I think at the moment it's paying about 4%, which I also like because compound interest is your friend. So I can't remember how much interest I'm earning. I think last year I earned about $60 interest. So that is better than a poke in the eye with a burnt stick. I think that would cover like at least a bill. That would cover my phone bills for a month. So while it might not seem like a lot, I think in the big scheme of things, it's handy to be able to have money into a slightly higher interest savings account because every little bit helps, I think. So I actually have an Excel spreadsheet that I created to track my sinking funds, but part of my goals is to not spend as much time on my devices as I was. My job involves working on the computer all day, and I was finding that I'd come home and then fire up my computer and fiddle around on there for a few hours every day. So I'm trying to cut down my time on my electronics. So I've also decided to record them physically on paper so that if I want to see how I'm going, rather than having to turn my computer on, I can just come into this folder and just see how much I've got in my funds. So this is how it's going to work. So this used to be my cash stuffing envelope before I brought my new green one, so I've put it to use. Now I brought a pack of this colourful paper off Temu, and I'm not quite sure why I decided to start with the pink, because I'm not a big fan of pink, but here we are. So every sinking fund has a sheet of paper, so as you can see I've got quite a lot, and at the start of the year I worked out how much I had in my bank account for each sinking fund, and I've written the balance down on this sheet of paper. So then when I get paid each fortnight, I will write down how much I've allocated for each particular sinking fund and just make a note of it so I know how much I've got. So for my accountant, for example, this is my accountant. At the start of the year I had $142.32 already saved, and when I got paid this week, I've allocated $10.58 to my account every pay. So now I've got $152.90 in there for my accountant. So let's just try another one. Oh, yep. Here's another one. This is for my water bill. My water bill is quarterly. So at the start of the year, I had $92 already in the bank for that. And every pay, I'm allocating $23.08. So now I've got $115.08. So that's basically how it works. Okay, car tyres. I've had the tyres on my car for, I think, 12 to 18 months now. So at the start of the year I had $167 for new tyres, and every pay I'm allocating $6.42. So now I've got $173.42. Now to work this, how much I need to save, I took into account two things. Roughly how much I was getting, how long I was getting out of a set of tyres on my car, and then how much it had cost me for the last two set of tyres. So I'm working out that I can get at least 3 years out of a set of tyres. I think the last set actually lasted me over 4 years, and I can get a set of tyres for less than $500, but I think I've used $500 as the benchmark, because I always wait to buy my new tyres when I can do a deal where you buy 4 but you pay for 3. So I always wait to get my tyres when there's a sale. I don't just go in and pay full price. That's how I do it. And I've got a small car, so my tyres aren't that expensive in comparison to if I had like a big 4-wheel drive or big SUV. So that's why I've come to that figure. So every single sinking fund has its own page. I will keep on updating this spreadsheet as well, but this will be my main place to see how I'm going with my sinking funds. So that's it. So just let me know what you think of that in the comments. If you think that's a good idea, bad idea, let me know. Perhaps let me know how you handle your sinking funds. I'm always interested to see how people do their stuff. And yeah, so I hope you've had a great week. I hope your year's off to a great start, and I'll see you on the next one.